women's trip that you're going to be so over. I don't know where we're going to do it because there's just going to be too many people. So for me, this is actually the most fantastic honor. I'm hoping that my mother is on somewhere. I can't see her, but I'm just going to say welcome, Mom, because we always welcome my mother on Thursday nights. I literally just finished, not just walked off Chalamek with Hasmonean girls. And it's just such a special bracha to be able to do all these things. And for those that might join us a bit late, it just means because I forgot, we've reminded everybody, but it is usually 8:30. But we wanted very much to have you with us this evening. And certainly in the Zechus, we have Juliet Schneiderman, who Juliet, do you want to just unmute and just mention the names of everybody that we are doing this for?
Thank you so much. We're doing Adar, Yisrael ben Yosef Yehuda, my grandmother, who was Rosa Bas Avraham, and my great aunt, who was Rachel Bas Yisrael. And I really thank you so much for doing this. Really appreciate the opportunity.
And it should also be in the Zechus of a Refuah Shalema, as Juliet wanted, for all of Klal Yisrael. So I'm not going to take away from your time because you've got so much beautiful stuff to share with us, and just thank you for being with us.
Thank you for inviting me, Joan. Very happy to be with you. Chodesh Tov to everyone. Misha Nichnas Adar Marbim B'Simcha. Our subject tonight, I guess it's night for everybody's over here in the not Western Hemisphere, right? So, so our subject is Simcha, and happiness. There's a problem with happiness, as I'm sure you've all noticed. There are some people that are just naturally happier, just like more lighter, happy, always smiling people. And there are some people who are much more somber and maybe reticent, and even sometimes like more depressive and depressed. And indeed, psychologists who study these things, isn't that a great job to be a psychologist and studying Simcha? So psychologists have ascertained that it's true, what we perceive, that there is a kind of happiness set point that everybody has by the time they're an adult. The level of happiness that is there, that's whatever happens, they very quickly resort to that set point, whether it's high or low, in between. So the scientists say that even if a person wins the lottery or gets paralyzed from the neck down, 6 months later, they have returned to their happiness set point, to that point where they were, where they were before they won the lottery or before they became paralyzed neck down. So this, of course, blows to bits the idea that most of us have that, I'll be happy when. I'll be happy when, when I have enough money to live comfortably. I'll be happy when I get my dream job. I'll be happy when I get married to the perfect man. Good luck with that one. I mean, not because, because there are no perfect men, because there are no perfect women. Nobody's perfect. I'll be happy when my daughter gets married. I'll be happy when I have a child. I'll be happy when I have a grandchild. Most of us live our lives with this idea in the back of our heads that I'll be happy when. And the concept that the psychologists have brought to light, that people have their happiness set point. And when you get whatever it is that you're waiting to get, when you get it, you will be happier for a while. But after a few months, you'll just be back at the same level of happiness that you were before. So this is a real problem. So Dr. Robert Emmons, who's a professor at University of California, Davis, he studied this idea to find out, is there anything that can raise a person's happiness set point? And he discovered that the answer is yes. What can raise your happiness set point? Gratitude. He wrote a book called Thanks. And he did all kinds of tests with this. I'm not going to take the time today to explain to you what he did. but he ascertained that the happiness set point can be raised by gratitude. So, of course, our sages knew this, 2,000 years ago. In Pirkei Avos, it says, who is rich? The person who's happy with what he has. So how do we become happy and grateful with what we have rather than continuing to chase rainbows? So we're going to talk tonight. So this is a workshop, very practical, interactive workshop, on how to acquire the skill of gratitude, because gratitude is a skill, like playing tennis. If you have to learn how to hold the racket and how to stand, you have to learn how to acquire the skill of gratitude, and then it will be with you for your whole life. So the first prerequisite for gratitude is to just notice things. 99% of the good that Hashem gives us from moment to moment, we are completely oblivious to. We take things for granted. I'm going to read you something from Rebbetzen Heritage Foundation. Made this like nice little sign for when we say after using the bathroom, there is a blessing to say. This is one of the first things that really blew my mind when I was first becoming religious 35 years ago. That what are these people doing? They come out of the bathroom and they're mumbling something. What's going on here? And then I learned that there was a blessing to say when going to the bathroom. I thought, well, that was real. That's wow, what a religion. So this is the Hafez Chaim has put out this thing, and it talks about, among other things, the wonders of the digestive system. And it says, so here are some things that I doubt that there's anyone on this Zoom this evening who really stops and notices these things. Your stomach it breaks down food with 35,000 digestive glands. Your liver processes 190 gallons of blood a day, purifying nutrients. Your pancreas has 1 million tiny factories that produce insulin, that of course is critical for energy. Your kidneys filter 100 types of waste from your blood. And your small intestine is 22 feet long, and it's lined with 5 million special cells to absorb nutrients. So this is going on all the time, every moment. Our body is digesting whatever we ate at our last meal. And how often do we simply stop to notice it? So the very first prerequisite for gratitude is to notice something rather than take it for granted. Once you have noticed something, and we are going to do exercises tonight that will help you get into the noticing mode. Once you've noticed something, there's something else you have to do. You have to replace your sense of entitlement with a sense of gift. So, here you have these 35,000 digestive glands in your stomach. So, okay, now that you know it, and now that you might become conscious of it, aware of it, if you think, well, okay, God made me and this is what he put into me, and you're like, I don't have any sense of gift. If I have just a sense of entitlement, this is what comes with the human body. It's a package deal. My soul got this body and it comes with this stomach that has 35,000 digestive glands. So the sense of entitlement, that I'm entitled to anything, has to be replaced with a sense of gift if you really want to acquire the skill of gratitude. I made a little chart here. I don't know if you can see it. That where this X represents the phenomenon, whatever it is that we want to be grateful for. And we have a choice. We can take it for granted, or we can, I can't read backwards because you're seeing it not backwards, notice something. But even once we notice it, again, we have a choice to either have a sense of entitlement or a sense of gift. And only when we go down this line where we notice things and we have a sense of gift do we actually get to gratitude. So I want to mention just 2 more things, and then we're going to start with the exercises. Thank is a transitive verb. I'm a writer, so take for granted that I believe me that I know what I'm talking about here. There are verbs in English that are intransitive verbs. A perfectly good English sentence would be I sit. It's not very interesting, but it is a good sentence in English. I walk. But I cannot say I thank. Thank has to have an object to it. So I can thank Hashem. I can thank Joanne for inviting me to give this presentation. I can thank the people who are sponsoring tonight's program. I can thank my husband who turned off the telephone so it doesn't ring in the middle of in the middle of our program. But I have to thank someone. So we're going to be doing exercises about thanking and being grateful. And I'm not going to have any more unpaid advertisements for Hashem, but I'm saying right now, everything that we have comes from Hashem. Whether it comes directly from Hashem, like our digestive system, or whether it comes indirectly from Hashem, like for my husband turning off the ringer on the telephone. Everything ultimately comes from Hashem, but that's a whole nother class, which we're not going into tonight. Now, there's another thing, and this is just as part of the skill. This is how to hold your tennis racket. To develop the skill of gratitude, you have to be specific. So, for example, we're going to be talking about this this evening, that what I call the blessings of the day before. Every morning I start my day before I daven. I thank Hashem for 5 things that I never thanked him for before. In order to thank Hashem for things that you never thanked him for before, so they're not like old and ordinary, that they feel new and exciting, you have to be specific. So yesterday I went with my grandchildren. We've been on lockdown in Israel for a long, long time. I don't know in England. Are your lockdowns like our lockdowns where you don't get to see your grandchildren? Yeah, so there was an article in the Times of Israel a couple of days ago about called for the inoculated and confused. Now that you've gotten a large percentage of our population has gotten the 2 Pfizer inoculations, and now people want to know, well, now that I've got them, now that I'm immunized, what can I do? So this article, you have to still wear a mask, you still have to practice social distancing, you still have to do this. The bottom line of this whole long article was, what can you do now that you have had your 2 inoculations? You can see your grandchildren outdoors. That was the thing. So, okay, so I got to see I got my 2 inoculations, and so did my husband, and my grandchildren have not been in school for weeks. So they haven't been exposed to anyone, and the lockdown ended on Sunday. So we went to see wildflowers. So I didn't thank Hashem for the wildflowers. I thanked Hashem specifically for the anemone. That's one kind of wildflower. For the cyclamens, second kind. For this other one that I don't know what it's called, but the very big pink blossoms. There were 2 of them on this bush. I think it's still very early for them. So that I thanked Hashem for those, even without knowing their name. I remembered what it looked like. Then I thanked Hashem for that I was with my grandchildren. Again, I didn't thank Hashem for my grandchildren in general. I thanked Hashem for Yonatan and David and Michael. You see, the more specific you are, the more gratitude you will have. And it teaches you to zero in on the specifics, because we live very specific lives, as this illustration of the digestive system. Don't ever thank Hashem for your digestive system. Thank him for your stomach and your liver and your pancreas and your kidneys and your small intestine, and et cetera, et cetera. So if you have any questions, you can ask them. I'm going to look at the chat box. Well, we're going to start. Let me see how many people are on with us. Okay. Too many to have people.
Yeah, we're already 100. We're 99. Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you. We're going to start with the exercises. I want you to name and put in the chat box, each person one, put in one part of the body you are grateful for. Now stop, wait a second, don't do it yet. Here are the rules. You have to be specific. So you cannot say I'm grateful for my eyes, but you can mention parts of the eye. You can't say I'm grateful for my brain, but you can mention parts of the brain. You can't say I'm grateful for my ears, but you can mention parts of the ears, because the whole idea is the more specific you are, the more grateful you will be. Okay, I want everybody now, and I'm just going to read off the list. Put in the chat box one part of your body that not that you are grateful for, because I'm assuming that we all take our bodies for granted. But now that we're doing this exercise, zero in and think about different parts of your body and write them down, okay? And the more specific you can be, the better you will be honing the skill of gratitude. Okay, well, I want parts of body. Somebody mentioned memory, but that would have to, you'd have to mention the part of the brain that holds memory, if you know it. Okay, we have the retina, tongue, heart, taste buds, fingernails, earlobes, mouth. I want something more specific than the mouth. Someone said mouth to speak to Hashem. No, I want it. There are 5 different parts of the body that contribute to speech. You have to be more specific. Earlobe, otherwise we can put in our earrings. Strong teeth, fingers, uterus, molars. See, so strong teeth is an answer, but molars is a better answer because we've got 3 different kinds of teeth in our mouth. Great. So once you say teeth, you've said it. But once if you say molars, then tomorrow you can mention your bicuspids. Okay, thumbnail. Oh, very good, very specific. Lips, heart, tooth, tongue. Someone said breathing. No, that's not a part of the body. Ovaries, toe. The wrinkles around my eyes so people can see me smile behind my mask. Oh, that's great. Nose, pupil in my eyes, tear ducts, voice box, pancreas. Someone said eyes. No, you're not allowed to say eyes. You must say parts of the eyes. Olfactory nerves and glands. Oh, that's good. Curly hair, eyelashes, womb, ear canal, sacroiliac joints, eyelashes, fingernails, cornea. I don't see neither. Come on, the rest of you. There's not 95 answers here, or 100 answers, however many people. Anal sphincter. Oh, very good. Like how many, I'm sure, I'm positive there's nobody on with us tonight that has ever stopped and thanked Hashem for their anal sphincter unless they lost its capacity. When we lose something, then suddenly we become so grateful. But we shouldn't have. Did you, and why did you?
I do it every day of my life because my father lost his control, and I'm grateful.
Exactly. So this is unfortunately something that Hashem has to do. To make us grateful for something, often he has to take it away from us. I remember once I had abdominal surgery. I had an ectopic pregnancy that went undetected. And it was a 4-hour surgery, a lot of lost blood and hemorrhaging in there. And the next morning, being the night, the next morning, this nurse came up to my bed, showed me, get up, like get up and take a shower. Like, are you kidding? Like, I couldn't even stand up. So when I tried to say my morning brachas, when I got to the bracha, it says about standing straight, so kef kefufim, I never said it with as much intention as I said it that morning because I couldn't stand up. I just couldn't do it. The muscles just didn't do it. So yes, so that is unfortunately something that Hashem has to resort to get us to notice and be grateful. Sometimes he has to take something away from us, or in this case, from a loved one, So you don't have to go through the experience yourself. We shouldn't have to do that. We shouldn't have to go through that. Okay, so where are we now? White blood cells, bladder, arteries, rib cage, diaphragm, kneecaps, hands. You could be more specific with hands, colon. Great, okay. We don't have 100 answers here, but we have a lot of things that you may not have thought to be grateful for and to notice up to now. Someone's saying knuckles. Yes, our knuckles, yes. We couldn't bend our fingers if we didn't have knuckles, you know? Okay, we're going to go into the next exercise. As I said, the verb thank is a transitive verb, has to have an object. So the next exercise is we are going to mention, don't start until I tell you the rules. We're going to put down again in the chat box. You're going to fill out this sentence, I thank, and you're going to put down who you are grateful for. Now here are the rules. You cannot, nobody in your immediate family. It can be somebody from your present or your past, even your distant past, your second grade teacher. You can mention specific individuals or like, Dr. Katz, or you can mention anonymous groups like the garbage collectors. I want you to think first, because the people who come to your mind first are not the ones that will be honing your skill of gratitude. The whole idea we're trying to get to is to try to become aware of and to notice phenomenon, parts of body, people that normally we just take for granted. So do not write the first person that comes to your mind because that's already there. You're already grateful for that person. Stop and think for a minute of a person from your present or your past or a group of people that benefit you, and write them down in the question box. Again, do not write the first one that comes to your mind. Don't write the second one that comes to your mind. I want you to write the fifth one that comes to your mind. Really use your mind to notice somebody in your life that you really haven't thought to thank, or at least for a long time. Okay, I'm going to start to read them. My seed partner. Carolyn, you said the, and I didn't get to something after that. Okay, my camp leaders, my children's teachers, the inventor of Zoom. Oh, I like that one a lot. Right? Here we are having this whole thing about gratitude. Somebody thought to be grateful for the person who invented Zoom. How do you even do it? The postman, my doctor. No, someone said my parents. No, nobody in your immediate family, please. If you're not grateful to the people in your immediate family, then there's something very wrong. So don't even mention them. I assume you're grateful to them. My eye doctor, my cleaner, the dentist, the Amazon delivery guys who kept my home going and me safe inside. All kosher food store here in Sao Paulo that provides kosher food products that wouldn't have otherwise. Oh, very nice. Very nice. Yes, that's something. Do we think of that? The people who provide the food that we buy in the grocery store. Beautiful. Psychologist, my bowel surgeon, my friend, the baby nurse I had who helped me after my C-section, very helpful and encouraged. The receptionist at GP surgery, the school head. Daniel Renov wrote cookbook, Peas, Love, and Carrots. Yeah, I know Danielle. She's a tremendous person. She's a tremendous person, a young woman. I don't know how much you know about her, but she's really, in addition to being a great cookbook writer, a tremendous person. I mean, I paid a Shiva call to her when her baby died of crib death. Just a very great person, Daniel Renov. My ex-husband. Oh, I love that one. That you can be grateful to your ex-husband. I really love that one. Okay. Farmers. My child's ear specialist. And with farmers, again, farmers is very good, but we could get very specific. The farmers who grow the lettuce, the farmers who grow the broccoli, the farmers who grow the avocados, you know, like you could fill up a whole notebook with farmers, different kinds of farmers. My child's ear specialist. WhatsApp, for being able to speak to Mumam every day and see her. Yes, you mean the inventors of WhatsApp, who, by the way, were Israelis. Rebecca Dove, the people that make coffee. Do you mean the people that pick the coffee beans, people who grow the coffee beans, the people who pick the coffee beans, the people who send the coffee beans to wherever they are ground, the people, or do you mean the people in the Starbucks who actually make the coffee? So let's be very specific here. My school security guards, my optician, my child's dyslexic English teacher, Rebbetzen Sylvia Silken, Alav Shalom, Beverly Barrel, the stranger who smiles to me when I go for a walk. Beautiful. The friend who convinced me to go on the first Seed Ladies trip that started an incredible life journey and opportunities. Beautiful. Empathetic midwives. Beautiful. The owner of the grocery store who reminded me I used to teach him. Oh, isn't that beautiful? My manager, when somebody from your past comes and like reminds you that you benefited them, that's beautiful. My manager at work, bin collection men. Sara Schneerer for revolutionizing women's Torah education. Beautiful. People from the past who invented things, who started things. Sara Schneerer had such a hard life. I'd like to be grateful for what she did, that, you know, like many, many steps in the process later, you get to benefit from. Beautiful. The Shetelmacher, the Prime Minister, Rebbetzen Joy Rubenstein, Leha Shalom. Bojo. I don't know who Bojo is. Everybody in England knows who Bojo is. Vivi Stenghauer, a great friend. President Trump, the woman who had the courage to drive me to Amsterdam airport from a corona-stricken house in order to emigrate to London. Beautiful. The creator of the NHS, National Health Service, is that? Lord Jonathan Sachs, Alav Shalom, and Rabbi Twersky, Alav Shalom, for sure. Oh, Bojo is Boris Johnson, okay, the Prime Minister, okay. Again, not everybody's participating, so I hope that there's a reason why. Maybe people who are coming in on their cell phones can't answer. Is that possible? I can't hear you, Joanne. You're answering.
I don't think that they can. If somebody's on their phone, I don't think that they can answer.
Okay. Okay, and so now somebody else has decided something. It's the scientists behind the COVID vaccine. And of course, there are many scientists, and now there are several vaccines. Okay. And by the way, and all the inventors of all the, not just the scientific, the vaccines and the medications, but you know, like even in this room where I'm sitting, we could make a list of 200 people without knowing their names, of, you know, Thomas Edison for inventing the light bulb, but this is a halogen light. That's somebody invented a halogen light, and I have another light going here, one of these ring circle lights, which is a different kind of technology, and somebody invented that. And of course, somebody invented the ability for like the electrical wires that aren't up in the street anymore like they used to be underneath the ground so that storms don't knock them out. And who invented, I mean, even the computer that we're working on, like amazing, like how many people had to do that to make a computer where I can be sitting here in the old city of Jerusalem and talking to you all over the world. I mean, look at the people invented Wi-Fi, you know, like, wow. Okay, let me see. And Some more things have been added. Yaeli Bitton, my first student who inspired me to further my studies. Rabbi Ashkenazi, alav shalom. Whoever started Torah anytime. Oh, yes, great idea. Yes. Okay. So we're going to go on to another exercise, but I'm hoping that you're getting the idea of really like whatever comes to your mind first when you try to think of to whom to be grateful. Those are the people you're already grateful to. But there are literally hundreds of people to whom each of us should be grateful, but we don't notice. We just don't notice. And I hope that once we do notice that we don't have a sense of entitlement, like I'm entitled to electricity in my house because I pay the electric bill. No, no, no. This is a very big problem. People think sometimes that if they pay for something, they don't have to be grateful for it. Like you take a taxi, you pay the driver. You don't have to say thank you when you leave. Of course you do. Even though you paid him, he was there. He rendered you a service. Not to speak of Hashem for like every little thing, like the sense of entitlement is, I think, one of the biggest problems in the world today. I'm entitled, whereas everything is a gift. Okay. So now we're going to go on to another area, what I call the blessings of the day before. So when I do my gratitudes in the morning, and I do my gratitudes, I do my gratitudes verbally. Joanne will tell us. Joanne, you're going to talk about this. The Seed has put together a beautiful gratitude booklet, gratitude journal, where you can actually write down. Joanne, do you want to say anything now about that?
Well, I don't want to take anything here, but I just want to say that I have so many gratitudes. And I also just want to say how grateful I am to have my mother, that she's here on screen learning Torah with us from Yerushalayim. And I have my gratitudes to so many people, but right here and now to Rebbetzen, Sara, Yocheved, Rigler, for introducing us to gratitudes in this level. And for the first group of ladies, and I was trying to remember how many years ago, but I think it's 11 or 12 years ago, where we had our first gratitude workshop. And from there, my gratitude to the people who helped us create our gratitude journals. And so just a reminder, we did a big push over Hanukkah and sold over 250. We've still got a few hundred left, but gratitudes to everybody. And we are working on getting them to Eretz Yisrael, because people have asked me from Eretz Yisrael. We still have them here in England. So those are our gratitudes. And you know how it works. So there we go. Let's carry on.
Okay. So every day, all of us should be thanking Hashem for 5 things that we never thanked him for before. We can do it verbally, or we can do it in writing in the gratitude journal. That way you'll remember what you already said. One way to avoid repeating is this idea of the blessings of the day before. Every day, even a difficult day, a challenging day, is full of blessings. So again, when we hone our minds into the skill of gratitude, we learn to start looking for the good. This is so much of the mitzvah, so many of the mitzvahs of the Torah are about focusing on the good. Not because there isn't a lot of bad out there, but Hashem doesn't want us to focus on it. So we have the mitzvah of judging favorably. You see somebody does something that not just looks bad, but is bad. And the Torah commands us to judge them favorably. Look for the good in this person. Look for what may have been their motive. Look for what may have gotten them to this point. Judge the whole person. All the Torah wants us, Torah means Hashem, wants us to look for the good in our minds by judging favorably. Hashem wants us to look for the good in our mouths by not speaking negatively. Lashon hara is negative true speech. Well, why shouldn't I say it? It's true. Because Hashem doesn't want us focusing on the negative. So the skill of gratitude is the skill of, and it's inherent to a Jew. The word Jew is Yehudi in Hebrew. The word Yehudi comes from the verb lehodot, to thank. By definition, Jews are the thankers. That's what it means, the Jews, the thankers. So this is really comes to the essence of what it means to be a Jew, to look for the good. Because even in the most difficult life, there is so much good. So the blessings of the day before is something you have to stop and you have to think about. And again, you can do it in the morning or you can do it at night, but you should do it every day, where you think about, okay, what happened in my day yesterday? So you can think of a conversation you had with a friend. You can think of something you ate. It seems like one of my 5 gratitudes is always something I ate that I liked. You could think of someone you saw. You could think of something that you enjoyed. Did you read a book, a Devar Torah? Did you hear a class? Did you run into someone that you were happy to see? Did you have a chance to do a mitzvah? Even a mitzvah, let's say you paid a Zoom Shiva call because somebody died. So it's a blessing. Hashem gave us mitzvahs. Every mitzvah we do connects us more with Hashem. And that you have the ability. I find that, with Zoom, I had a relative who died at the age of 99 a month ago, and in New Jersey. No way I would have been able to pay a Shiva call. Couldn't go to the funeral, couldn't pay a Shiva call. But thanks to Zoom, now that's standard. Standard is we pay Zoom Shiva calls, and I was able to be on a Shiva call. So there's what to be grateful for. Sorry to lose my cousin, but happy that I was able to see her children, her grandchildren. So what I want you to do now is to, again, do not write anything. I'm going to time us for a minute. I want you to think of 5 things of the blessings of yesterday. Today's Thursday, so we're talking about, but it's the evening. So you can either think about what happened today on Thursday or what happened yesterday on Wednesday. Usually if you're doing it at night, you'll be thinking about what you did today. And I want you to think of 5, don't write down anything yet, 5 things that you're grateful for, that happened to you, that you experienced, that you saw, that you ate, anything. And after you have, I hope that if you're not driving, you have a pen and paper there. People still use pens and papers. And write down the 5 things. And then after you've written down 5 things, I want you to take one thing and put it in the question box. But I don't, nothing in the question box for the next, I'm going to time a minute. Okay, don't write anything into the question box until you have written down 5 things on a piece of paper, and then pick one. Again, I want you to be specific. Don't thank Hashem. Don't say, that you're grateful for the good dinner you had. I want to hear specifically, was it the salad? Was it the soup? If it was the soup, what kind of soup was it? Was it mushroom soup, tomato soup, vegetable soup? Be specific. Gratitude lies in being specific. Okay, now you can start writing. One thing from each person. Okay, someone says money to buy food for Shabbos. Somebody wrote grandchildren, not specific enough. Sat in 0 degrees, but in glorious sunshine on a park bench. Beautiful. That's exactly the type of thing we should be trying to get to. It was very, very cold, but the sun was shining. And you're sitting on a park bench enjoying the sunshine. Beautiful. Someone wrote heating. Great. Someone wrote a friend who took me shopping for the food on the table. Great. Having recovered from COVID. Very big thing. My son's wisdom. To have my husband's grandmother's mando recipe so I can make it for him. Oh, isn't that's very precious. Laughed with my children. Okay, so even, I want to comment on that. You might laugh with your children often, 5 times a week, 6 times a week, but to stop and really stop and be grateful for it. Wow, I got to laugh with my children. There's a lot going on there, that you have children, that you were able, whatever's going on in your life, and I don't know where this person lives and how bad COVID is in the place where you live, but to appreciate that experience, even if it lasted only 3 minutes. Okay, the flow to my work day, because Wi-Fi suddenly started working after days of not working. Beautiful. The weather was beautiful and I can walk, so I went for a walk. Beautiful. Grateful to Hashem for giving me the talent to paint and give joy to people through my art. Beautiful. Supper that my mother sent in, especially the, oh no, this is Bolognese. How do you pronounce it? Okay. Thank you,
Bolognese, spaghetti bolognese, meat sauce on spaghetti.
Oh, meat sauce, that's a fancy name for it. Okay, great. Especially about, that's right. So you're thanking that your mother made it and you're thanking that you liked the dish itself. Okay, thank Hashem, I have a warm house to go into after being out in the freezing cold. The beautiful sound of laughter from my children that fills my heart beyond words. The walk I went on with my daughter today. For Hashem giving me the strength to make a meal for a friend who was stuck at home with Corona. Yes, beautiful. So here's a case where the person who wrote this, Esther, is not the recipient, but she is the doer of good. And yet that Hashem gave her the strength to do good and to be the giver. Beautiful. Went for a walk in the sunshine. I think sunshine must be very rare in England. Everybody's so happy for the little sunshine. That I had time to watch this inspiring talk.
This is England. This is England.
Yeah, so you don't have sunshine very often. It's a cause for great celebration and gratitude. I get it. That I had time to watch this inspiring talk. Here in Israel, of course, we thank Hashem very much for the rain. Every day it rains. It's one of my 5 gratitudes. It has rained the day before in the morning. I thank Hashem that it rained yesterday. Never miss a day of rain without being grateful. Okay, but in England, you got plenty of rain, so you're grateful for the sunshine. That I had time to watch this inspiring talk and deepen my gratitude skills. So that's time. It's also for Seed and for Joanne and for everyone that made it happen. Reaching to a top shelf to unpack my shopping with my frozen shoulder. Oh, so the frozen shoulder, which could be very impossible to reach to a top shelf. So you were able to do that. That's wonderful. And again, when we lose a capacity, then we tend to be more grateful for it. To get to work safely. Good, okay, so something very mundane. Maybe you get to work safely 5 days a week, but to hone in on that and realize, not take it for granted. You got there safely. You got my father-in-law, he should rest in peace. He used to say when he'd drive into his driveway after wherever he went. He would always say, "Thank you, Hashem, you did it again." Okay. I had time today on Thursday with all my Shabbos preparation to do my daily half-hour walk in the sunshine. Beautiful. So time and the things worked out, because time is such a gift. Things could have been very chaotic and hard and something went wrong and you wouldn't have had time. So you had time. Beautiful. Yummy kugel I bought yesterday. Beautiful. Received beautiful flowers and a card from parents and sister. Oh, beautiful. Is it your birthday? Happy birthday. My beautiful therapy puppy. Oh, aren't therapy puppies great? I saw this video somebody sent of a woman paralyzed from the neck down, and she has a dog who was actually putting the wet clothes into the dryer and feeding her. This woman is paralyzed from her neck down. So a woman here in Israel, in Tavaria, she paints with a brush in her teeth. It's the only thing she can move is her, from here up. So this dog was holding a spoon in his mouth and feeding her into her mouth. It was beautiful. Having a roof over my head. Beautiful. Exactly the type of thing we take for granted. That we have a roof over our head. It doesn't, then when it rains, the rain doesn't get in, hopefully. That's beautiful. Exactly the type of thing we take for granted that now we're learning to appreciate. Went to the beach with my family. The sun was shining and everything worked out smoothly and everyone had a restful time. So there's like 5 things in there. Okay, beautiful. Watching my elderly father enjoying the lunch that I made him. Beautiful. Seeing the frozen lake with ducks ice skating in brilliant sunshine, appreciating Hashem's creations. The ducks ice skate? I never heard of such a thing. Okay, that's amazing. Taking my 18-year-old for his first vaccine, knowing it will protect him. Beautiful. And all the people that make behind the ability to have the vaccine. Able to go out for a long walk. Beautiful. Opportunity to have so many wonderful people learning in honor of my relatives. Beautiful. That Hashem gave me the idea to be in touch with a lonely lady and offered to send her inspiring lectures by email and WhatsApp. She was so happy. So this is a very good idea that I want to mention, that, when we have an idea, like, where does it come from? This person thought that, thanks Hashem for the idea that it came into your head, that we have ideas that come into our heads from somewhere. Where do they come from? They come from Hashem. And especially sometimes we'll get this intuition that to be in touch with this lonely person or something, and we should act on it. And the intuition comes from a higher source. It comes from Hashem. Live webinar with a particular professor sharing new research on reasons people have discomfort in their contact lenses so they can be helped. Beautiful. The stories about my late husband. Beautiful. Watching my children playing happily in the park. Beautiful. My husband for driving to Gateshead to bring my son home for Shabbos. Beautiful. My granddaughter's hug. Yum. Yes, I got your grandchild's hug. Just so terrific. My children's sweet voices singing Modeh Ani as we all cuddled in bed this morning. Beautiful. Grateful to all the people who signed up and joined my online cookery classes yesterday. Beautiful. For the strength to be a listening ear. Oh, beautiful. This is our own towns. Again, this is something I want to just point out. So we might think of our talents as they come from us, So the strength to be a listening ear, it's going to be very hard to be a listening ear to people when they want to pour out their troubles and their complaints. It takes a lot of strength. And there's certain personalities that might be more inclined toward that than others, be able to do that. But it is a gift. It's a gift from Hashem that you have this. It's your choice and you get full credit. We get full credit for the choice to do good things. Credit means that Hashem gives us reward. Reward and punishment is one of the 13 principles of the faith. But even a choice that we make, a free will choice for which we will get rewarded, still that Hashem gave me the inclination. He gave me the example. He gave me the parents who gave me the values. He gave me the strength, the personality that I can sit and listen to somebody. Beautiful. Eating a delicious sweet mango. Where'd you get mango this time of year? Where are you, Lori Resnick?
In England, you get most of the stuff all the time because everything's imported.
Oh,
We don't know what's going to be happening now. I don't know how they're getting it here, but there's going to be a lot of lack of
okay, because we only get mango in the
summer.
On the other hand, we get to say Shechiano on fruits because we only get them in season. So if you get a mango, you know it's the beginning of the season. To my friend who took my son for 2 hours since there's no daycare. Beautiful. When I saw my sister, I think sister-in-law this is supposed to be, all my electrical appliances in my kitchen. Okay, so of course you want to be specific and like today be grateful for the mixer and tomorrow be grateful for the microwave and the next day be grateful for the immersion blender and so on and so forth. Oh, we better go, okay. Going faster now. Every time I do not feel jealous seeing a healthy person. I am disabled. Oh, beautiful. The ability, the trait not to feel jealous when you see somebody who's healthy. Again, you get credit for that. That doesn't come naturally to anybody. But at the same time, it's a gift that if you worked on yourself to not be jealous of healthy people, then although you get the credit and you get the reward for it, I'm talking about the world of truth, the next world when we get reward and punishment that takes place in the next world. But at the same time, that Hashem gave you the ability to, the propensity to want to work on yourself, to not be jealous. Beautiful. My grandchild who asked me to tell a Boston.
No, that's a mistake.
Oh, what's too big?
I wrote it further down that she asked me to read her a bedtime story every night.
Oh, I see it. I see. Okay, I see. Great. My daughters help with everything that she helps with. The mango came from Costa Rica. Great. Okay. Mango and papayas that I can eat every day in Brazil. I had taken it for granted, but heard in England can't get every day. Great. Grateful to appreciate my central heating as they turned the gas off today and we were so cold. Beautiful. Fresh eggs delivered every week. My electric blanket, the best gift. Great. Okay. So now where are we going? How can we take this forward, this skill? So there are 3 things I'm going to suggest. One, to say Modeh Ani. This is the way a Jew should wake up in the morning. The very first word out of our mouth is Modeh. And the syntax of the sentence, Modeh Ani Lefanecha, is kind of switched around. Really in Hebrew, I'm going to say I thank you, I would say Ani Modeh. But the sages wanted the first word out of our mouth in the morning to be Modeh, thank you, rather than I. So it's Modeh comes first and then Ani. First the thank I, like that. So Modeh Ani lefanecha melech chai v'kayom. We should say as soon as we wake up, before we get out of bed. And when we say it, and this is something that I learned from Rabbi Asher Baruch Wegbright. He said, but when you say Modeh Ani, stop after the word Modeh and actually think of something you're grateful for. Like don't just peel words. Modeh Ani lefanecha melech chai v'kayom. I'm thankful to you, God, for Melech HaVayim, the living and existing God. Well, after that first word, Modeh, thank, don't go further. Stop and think of something you're grateful for as you lie in bed. Of course, it would be something from the day before. Maybe it'd be something from during the night that you slept well. We get to a certain age, not so easy, to fall asleep again. So whatever it is. So the first thing that I'm recommending to really keep the skill of gratitude is to say Modeh Ani every morning and stop after the word Modeh. And every morning you have something different that you're grateful to Hashem for. And then continue. Modeh, thank. Oh, that I got to talk to my daughter last night on the phone. Ani melech chai v'kayom. And it goes on from there. Second thing is, of course, the gratitude journal. Either get a gratitude journal from Seed and use it every day, or verbally thank Hashem for 5 things every morning or every night. I think it's a great way to start the day, truthfully. Even if you're rushed, you have to get to work, this doesn't take that long. And it's great, no matter what's going on in your life. And some days we wake up and we realize, oh no, I still have that problem facing me. But if you start the day by thanking Hashem for 5 things every day, you're going to start the day happy. You might, an hour later, you might fall back into, being bummed out by your problems, but you will start the day happy if you start with gratitude. So first is modani. Second is a gratitude journal, either in writing or verbally. The third thing I'm going to suggest is for those of you who are, how many of you are married? Please, raise your hand. Okay, so we have a lot of married people on with us. For those who are not married, you would do this for, let's say, a parent. Your parents are still alive, or you might, or if you're widowed or divorced, maybe your child. Make a gratitude list. For those of you who are married, you make the gratitude list to your husband, and you list 108 things that you are grateful to your husband for. This is a wonderful exercise. It will improve your marriage so much. It will make your husband so happy. I have a weekly marriage webinar for married Jewish women with Jewish workshops. If you're interested, you could find it on my website, sararigler.com, and it's there. And it's a wonderful way for working on yourself spiritually through your marriage, whether you've been married 5 months, or we have one member who's been married 51 years and she's still working on her marriage, because marriage is something that has to be constantly worked on. So, this is not a spirit, this is spiritual techniques, not psychological techniques. So, so one of the things that I have periodically recommended, especially for women who have, whose husbands, let's say, are out of work and they don't help around the house and and the wife is just so full of complaints. As we said, it is the will of Hashem for us to focus on the positive. So to make a gratitude list where you go back to the very beginning of your relationship with your husband, before you were married, and just write down everything you can think of. Again, being very specific for, all the things I'm going to read to you. This is a member of our Kesher Wife Club. It's called In South Africa. And when I asked them to write a list, she was saying, she won't even be able to get to 30, let alone, in the end, she wrote 106. I'm just going to run through it real fast so you get the idea of what I'm talking about. Marrying me, taking me to Mauritius, taking me to Israel, taking me to America, taking me on holiday around the coast on his bike. Baruch Hashem, we survived. Driving the children and pregnant me to a cherry farm for a holiday, fetching us and driving us back from the cherry farm, paying for the holiday at the cherry farm. You see how specific she's being? The husband took them, she was pregnant and she had children, and the husband drove them, then he fetched them and drove them back, and paying for the holiday at the cherry farm. She got 3 things out of that vacation at the cherry farm to thank her husband for. Buying me a lapis lazuli necklace just because he wanted me to get something nice, buying me a black, white, and silver necklace because he thought I would like it, buying me golden colored stone choker, she lists every gift he ever gave her. Having our first son, being with me at his challenging birth, bringing me fresh carrot and apple juice to the nursing home, visiting me every day I was there. And then she lists separately: Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Moshe Shabbos. Fetching baby and me from the nursing home on Sunday. So again, you could think, wait a second, she gave birth to the baby. She did all the hard work, so what's he doing? He's visiting her at the nursing home, thanks a lot. But the skill of gratitude is learning to appreciate everything. He He drove her to this recuperation home after the birth, and he visited her every day, trying to console and encourage me when I didn't think I could be a good mother, when baby was crying and I didn't know what to do next. She's going back decades with this one. Taking me for a drive on his bike to the airport just to get me out of our flat and give me a break. Letting me choose our son's name as Aaron Yehuda. Having our second son, being with me at his birth. Again, because the wife's the one doing the hard thing. So, okay, he was with her. I had to appreciate he was with her. Bringing our first son to visit me at the nursing home, looking after him while I was away, taking us as a family for a drive to the Val River, taking us as a family to Plettenberg Bay on holiday, taking the boys swimming in the sea, rowing us on a boat in the river, buying us each a box of delicious cherries. She's thinking about things they did decades ago, because now she's a grandmother. Putting the house in my name, helping me choose and pay for new curtains, taking the boys and me to watch airplanes take off and land, taking us to air shows, having our third son, da, 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 da. We don't have time now to go through the whole thing, but you can see this very, very long list. And what I recommend that you do, I mean, if you can handwrite it, it's beautiful. And when I did mine for my husband, I hand wrote it, and then I put a picture, I printed out a picture of the two of us, and I like bound it together with a ribbon. It was a beautiful gift for your husband. Again, if you're not married, you can do it for a parent. Here's my son was, when he was 16, his Rebbe in Cheder told him to, told the boys to make a gratitude list. And I don't know where it is now, we don't have time, but you know, I have it up on the wall. It means so much to me. You know, from 16-year-old, I mean, being grateful, you know, to his parents. So that's the third idea. Modeh ani, and stop after the word modeh and really think of something you're grateful for. Gratitude journal, every day 5 things that you never thanked Hashem for before. And make a gratitude list and give it to your husband or a parent, or if you're older, even to a child, you know. It's a really great thing to do, to really hone gratitude in depth. Okay, do we have any anybody have any questions about gratitude? Only about gratitude, not about anything else. Someone says, I can think of more than 100 things I'm grateful for. My late husband, who always who's always in my thoughts and prayers every day for the 55 years we were married. So obviously you can't give him that gratitude list, but do you have children or grandchildren you could make a gratitude list for? See, if you already are feeling the gratitude to your husband, then this is not an exercise that will improve your skill of gratitude. You have to try to do it for someone where you're not thinking of all the things you're grateful to them for. There's so many things. Okay, are there any questions about gratitude? Have I written about this? I don't remember. I have a lot of books I don't remember. How can one switch on the gratitude mode when one is just down, not upbeat, and this whole lockdown situation gets so hard? If one knows that in reality there's so many things to be grateful for, but cognitively one knows this, but when one is too irritated or frustrated, it's hard to focus on this and not on the negative. So let me ask you a question. Do you brush your teeth every morning? Even when you don't feel like it? I bet you do. Do you wash your face or shower every morning? I bet you do. Do you eat breakfast every morning? I bet you do. If you make thanking Hashem for 5 things every day part of your morning routine, but it's not a question of whether you feel like it or not. You don't wait. So that's the whole point of what we're trying to do this evening. You don't wait until you feel grateful to express gratitude to Hashem. This is part of your morning routine. You get up, you shower, you brush your teeth, you get dressed, and you thank God for 5 things that you never thanked him for before. Even if you're down about the whole lockdown situation, and believe me, we've had days here in Israel where things have been very hard. I mean, when we passed 5,000 deaths, I cried. You know, in Israel, every death is considered a major tragedy.
Really
In Mishpacha here. So, but did I thank Hashem for 5 things the next morning? I certainly did. The whole point I'm trying to teach you here is don't wait until you feel upbeat and happy to thank Hashem. Every morning it's part of your routine. The process of thanking Hashem, the process of focusing on the positive and on the good will make you happy. Don't wait for the happiness to come through.
Okay, I want to just take this opportunity before we finish, am I on mute? Okay, before we finish and before we do something, I try and do every Thursday night. Once we finish our share, we are mafresh challah. And I can tell you one thing for sure, that it doesn't matter how many times I hear your workshop speaking about gratitude, whatever it is, our gratitude increases. And we really have to remind ourselves that it's not just for the 5 minutes after we leave you, but we should just continue always to do it. During this time, I could just say all the gratitudes that I have are just huge. And I just want to be able to say that in Mirz Hashem, we're going to be able to have our gratitude very soon of being returned to Eretz Yisrael together with all of you. And that is one of the things that we are looking desperately forward to. So right now, I'm just going to ask everybody to have in mind, I'm going to make a bracha. We should just have in mind for all the refuahs, the yeshuas, and the gratitudes to absolutely everyone that we have. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kedishanu b'mitzvaysa v'tzivanu la'afrish chala min ha'isa.
Amen.
Chala. And really, the purpose of this mitzvah of Afreshas Chala, that all of us together, Be'ezras Hashem, B'karov, we're going to very soon greet Mashiach and be together, all of us dancing in front of, or near to the Beis HaMikdash, wherever we're allowed to be. And that should be the merit that we should all have. So thank you for staying up late for us. Thank you for being together with us here. And thank you everybody for being here. Thank you, Juliet. Thank you, Rebbetzen Rigler, and really thank you to everybody for doing this, and all those who know that you're constantly doing the work all the time. You know how grateful we are all to all of you.